everyone, this is Larry with Today I Feel Like. I am back in the building here to talk about the Samsung Unpacked event. We're going to unpack the unpacked. So we can talk a bit about the devices, we can see what they offered this year, what I like, what I didn't like, and try and answer any questions that you guys may have about these new phones that are out. So, all right. First of all, let me give a shout out to a couple people in the building that have come through early. We have Nice to Nasty for you, Rick Torres in the building, Uncle Kev Marsh in the house, Evil Witch is in the building too. Shout out to everyone in here. And yeah, so first thing, let's just take a look at the new devices that they came out with. So they announced the S20. They announced some new Samsung books as well, but they also, you can see there, they have some nice looking ones. But what we really all want to see are these, and this is the S23 Ultra, the S23 Plus, and the S23 regular. There's just straight up S23 Plus, and then the Ultra there. So, and you can get them in different colors. The S23 Ultra is going to have the S Pen integrated as well, as we can see there, because the S23 is replacing the Note series. They pretty much made it official and said when they erased the Note series in the Note off the screen and put in the S23 Ultra. So it's officially replacing that. And we can take a look at some of the colors you're going to have available here. We'll go deeper into that in just a few moments. And but yeah, they're nice looking phones. We can see here that even though they have rounded edges, it looks like they squared off the S23 Ultra a little bit more than they did last year. So that's nice to see. But all right, let's see. Let's first see if anybody has any questions here. I think I saw one already. Let's see. It says Rick Torres says, I need to know if this phone has an auxiliary to plug in your earpiece. So if you want to plug in an earpiece with one of the S23s, you have to use a dongle. You're going to have to either use a dongle or use an earpiece that has a USB-C connection. So you can plug in headphones and earpieces to the S23 models, but you're going to have to use a dongle. So either, excuse me. So you're either going to need, again, to have the USB-C dongle or a actual earpiece that uses USB-C natively. So, all right, shout out to Charles Tuttle in the building. Now, let's just take a quick look at some of the differences between the two. We can see there's a let's go to this comparison chart, and we can see right here we are going to have the we're going to have the S23 Ultra, the S23 and S23 Plus, and the S23. Now, one of the main differences is going to be the screen size, as we can see. We'll see exactly what it is down there, but I believe the S23 Ultra is going to be like 6.8 inches. I think this one's 6.7, and this is 6.1 for the 23. So, but we can also take a look at the battery. We're going to get the biggest battery, obviously, with the 5,000 milliamp hour battery of the S23 Ultra. The S23 Plus is not going to be that far behind at 4,700 milliamps, and then you have 3,900 with the S23. And they all have wireless power share there, so that's nice to see. Now with this Snapdragon S Gen 2, I believe, Plus, you should get much better battery life, even with the same capacities that you were before, because now you're going to have a much more efficient system. Also, we're going to see the different storages that we have available. So with the S23 Ultra, you're going to have 256 and 256, 512, and 1 terabyte. Now, this is something that you should pay attention to, is that if you get the 256 model, the base model, you're only going to get 8 gigs of RAM in your phone. Whereas if you step up to the 512, you're going to get 12 gigs of RAM on your phone. And actually right now, if you actually order your phone now, or pre-order your phone, you'll be able to get the 512 model for the same price as the 256. So you don't have to pay any extra. And so not only are you going to double your memory, or excuse me, double your storage, but you'll also double, well, not quite double your memory, but you'll get more memory. You'll get 12 gigs of memory instead of 8. So, all right, let's check for any questions. It says, so the S20, Rick says, so the S23 does not come with the earpiece. No. If you, no. Most of these flagship phones nowadays do not come with a way to plug in headphones. There's only a few of them that still do. I know Sony does. Sony, the Xperia line has a headphone jack, so you can still plug in there if you need that. I'm trying to think of some others. I'm not really sure right now, and I think about it. So, all right, let's take a quick look at. So let's keep looking at their comparisons here. So, it looks like with the S23 Plus, you're going to get 256 and 512 for your storage option. So just two there. And then on the S23, you're going to get 128 and 256 available. So it looks like if you want if you want a small phone with a high capacity of storage, you're not going to be able to really get it because you're only going to be able to get 256. Whereas with the Ultra, you can go up to 1 terabyte. And you can go to 512 on the Plus here. Now, they're all going to have the same processor. They're all going to have the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 mobile platform for Galaxy. So I think these are all going to be sort of optimized to work with the Samsung Galaxy hardware, excuse me, and probably some of their software so that you get the most efficient experience out of this this chip here. Again, we can see here with the Ultra, we're going to either get 8 gigs or 12 gigs of RAM. With the other two, with the Plus and the S23, you're only going to get 8 gigs. So if you want 12 gigs, you're going to have to move up to the big boy and grab the S23 Ultra. For the S Pen, you get that integrated with the S23 Ultra. For the S23 Plus and S23, it's not available. So it's not, you can't even get it after the fact. It's not like with the Fold where you can actually buy an S Pen that you can use with that. You won't even have the option with the S23 Plus and S23. So if you need an S Pen, you're going to have to go with the Ultra. They all have 5G sub 6 millimeter wave, which is nice to see. And then the cameras. Now here we go. This is, let me just tell you, the cameras are where I was most looking forward to change during this event, and I was really kind of disappointed. I mean, I'll tell you why. And I should reserve my disappointment till I get the phone in hand. But some things I was looking for them to mention, they didn't mention. One of them, in fact, let me see if I can find. I wrote down a list of things that I wanted to see here, that I wanted to see on this phone when it comes out. And let me see if I can find it. I think I might have. Let me see if I can find this list here that I made. Yep, here we go. Here are the features that I wanted to see on the S23 Ultra, and I'm not sure if they are going to have it until I actually get it in, but they didn't mention it during this event. Number one on this list is 4K portrait video. That's something that they offer on the iPhone. So I have my iPhone 14 Plus, and it offers 4K portrait video. So if you want to shoot with that nice blurry bokeh background, you can do it in 4K. On my Samsung devices, you can only do it in 1080p. It does look good. The cutout does look really nice on the Samsung devices, but you can only do it in 1080p. They didn't mention that I heard that you can do it in 4K, but if you can, that would be absolutely fantastic, and I hope they offer that. It seems like that's something that they could do, even if it's not at launch. It seems like that's something they could offer as a firmware update. I don't think that's necessarily a hardware thing. They already have the hardware for portrait video. They just need to allow you to shoot it and output it in 4K. So the next thing I wanted to see in here was 8K video with little or no crop from the Z Fold, like the Z Fold 4 has. And it looks like we're going to be able to get that. They did mention that you'll be able to shoot in 8K without that nasty crop. And they've had 8K in their video video capability for a while. They had it in the S22 Ultra. They had it in the Note 20 Ultra, but the crop was so severe that it really made it unusable for a lot of uses. A lot of times I needed it. So I'm glad they're going to have it. I have found that I've used 8K on my Z Fold 4 more than a few times because it looks good. It doesn't have that nasty crop on there. It's just a nice it's just a nice thing to have. And that way, if I shoot in 8K and I need to punch in a little bit, I have the extra resolution to do it. So, all right. Now this is something else they didn't mention that I hope they have. I want to have 24 frames a second available in the regular video mode. Now, some of you may not care about this, but I shoot almost everything in 24p. And with the Samsung devices, in order to shoot in 24p, you had to go and jump into the Pro mode. Now, on the Z Fold 4, you can shoot in 24p in the regular video mode if you're shooting in 8K. But sometimes I don't always shoot in 8K. Sometimes I want to shoot in regular 4K, but I want to be able to shoot in 24 frames in the regular camera mode. And I'll tell you one reason why. Let me see. Let me just see if I can open up my camera right quick. So on the camera here, you'll see that the front-facing screen, and this isn't going to matter on the S23 Ultra, but one reason I wanted it on this device is that I can go ahead and turn on this screen right here and have it. But if I hit this button, there's a selfie button, I can actually have all the controls on the front of the screen. The back screen, you can't see it anymore, which is kind of great. So if you're filming yourself, people aren't behind you looking at you crazy. But the problem with that is that you can't do that, and you can't do that in regular video mode in 24 frames, because the only way to get 24 frames in regular video mode is to shoot in 8K. In 8K, you can't use that front screen like that. So, and you can't do that in Pro mode either. You can't do the selfie thing like that in Pro mode. So it would be nice if you could. But anyways, so let me go ahead. Let me jump back in and tell you the other things I want. They didn't mention that they were going to have 24 frames in regular video mode, but I'm hoping that's something that they offer. Right now they offer 30 frames, and I think they offer 60 frames maybe. So yeah. All right. Looks like we have Leon in the building. Shout out to you. Good to see you. All right, I wanted faster wireless charging, or faster charging. So right now they offer 45-watt charging. There are other brands out there, I believe, like OnePlus and Oppo and Xiaomi and some other phone manufacturers that offer like 65-watt fast charging. I think there's even someone out there that offers like 100-watt fast charging. But I was really hoping to move past the 45-watt fast charging and go to like 65-watt fast charging. And it looks like we're still going to be stuck at 45 watts. I also wanted faster wireless charging, which I didn't hear them mention. Right now, I believe it's capped at like 15 watts of wireless fast charging. I was hoping to get like 25 watts. So those were kind of my wish list. That was kind of my wish list. I wanted 25 watts fast charging, 65 watts I wanted 25 watts of wireless fast charging, 65 watts of regular wired fast charging. I wanted 24 frames a second in regular video mode. I wanted 8K with no crop, which it looks like we're getting. And then I wanted 4K portrait mode, which I didn't hear them mention. So I'll have to wait until I get the device in hand to find out if that's available. So, all right. Let's see here. Let's go check out. Let's see what else they have in here as far as this comparison chart. So it looks like for the cameras, we're gonna get a rear camera that's gonna have 200 megapixels, and that's, you know, more megapixels, they can be good and bad. It's always one of those things. If they're downsampling it so you get a sharper image at like 50 megapixels, that's pretty fantastic. You have the wide, for the ultra, you have a 12 megapixel ultra wide, 10 megapixel telephoto, and 3x optical zoom, and then a 10 megapixel 3x optical zoom, and a 10 megapixel tele at 10x optical. and a front 12 megapixel for the front camera. I was really hoping also that they would give us a longer zoom. I really wanted, like this right here, this 10x optical, I really wanted this to be 20. I wanted to have a 20x and a 10x. I wanted both of those. So even if they did a sensor crop, like this right here where it's a 10, I wish they made this instead of 10 megapixels, I wish they would have made this like 50 megapixels and then given us a sensor crop at like 20x that would have been dropped this down to like maybe 10x, you know, like a 10 megapixel or something at 20x. That would have been great. Now for the S23 Plus, you're going to get a 50 megapixel wide, 12 megapixel ultra wide, and a 10 megapixel 3x optical zoom, and 12 megapixel front camera. And then it looks like you're going to get the same here on the S23. So the S23 and the S23 Plus, the camera system is basically going to be the same. The difference really is with these two phones is the size of the actual phone. So they both have ultra wide cameras. They both have scene optimizers, which I mean, I guess you can use them. I don't really use them, but you know, for some people you can get really good shots quickly, and I think anything that helps people get great photos is wonderful. So here's some of the apertures. You can see we're going to have on the ultra wide, on the wide angle for the S23 Ultra, we're going to have a f1.7, the 2.2 for the ultra wide, and 2.4 for the zoom, I believe it is. Oh wait, no, what is it? This is okay. So sorry, it's going to be 200 megapixels is going to be 1.7, 12 megapixel for the regular, not 200 megapixels is going to be f2.2, and then 2.4 for the ultra wide, and then 4.9 for the tele lens there, and then 2.2 for the front-facing camera. And then on the rear camera for the S23 and S23 Plus, you're looking at f1.8 for the 50 megapixel. The 12 megapixel regular wide is going to be f2.2, and then 2.4 for the 3x. And so it looks like they're going to be pretty much the same. f1.7 and f1.8, there's not that big of a difference. There's really just not. And then the other lenses look like they're all going to be the same, probably the same hardware. So it says they all have flaw detection on there, so you can use that if you wanted to, so you can make sure you don't have any bad shots. And here's the screen sizes that I was talking about. So you're going to have 6.8 a 6.8 dynamic OLED AMOLED 2x Infinity QHD edge screen display. You're going to have a dynamic AMOLED 2x Infinity full HD flat screen display on here. So this is not going to be a QHD, but a full HD, and we're going to get the same on here, except we're going to have 6.1. So you're looking at 6.8, 6.6, and 6.1 for the three different variations. They're all going to have the ultrasonic finger scanner, so you'll have that. And let's check out and see if there's some more specs on here. So, but let me just double check and see if anybody has any questions. If you do, hit me up. Shout out to Sandy DePaul in the building. Big ups. And if you guys have any questions, I'll see what I can answer for them. This doesn't look like it's all that much different from the S22 Ultra. The hardware seems very much the same. It looks very much the same with the camera array in the back. It looks I can show you right here. Let me just bring you back in here, and we'll just let's take a look. And you can see they look very much the same. You're gonna have the same layout as the S22 Ultra and the S22 and S22 Plus and S22. They're gonna look very, very much the same there. So it's not like there's a big design departure. You're gonna have pretty much the same hardware in the sense of the cameras are gonna have like the same focal length, so you don't. And they didn't mention what the focal length of the ultra wide is. I believe on the S22, just like on the Fold, on the Z Fold before, the ultra wide is a 0.6 ultra wide and not a 0.5. Like some cameras have a little bit wider, like the iPhone 14 Pro Max has a 0.5 ultra wide, so it's just a little bit wider. Not exactly sure what it's going to be on this one. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, and let's see here. Let's jump back in and let's see. Oop, there we go. We want to go on this end over here. And you can see there it says anything but ordinary. You can see there's going to be some colors here. You're going to have different colors that you can get, which I think are kind of cool. These are going to be the colors available in the stores right here. So you're going to have this this green, you'll have phantom black, you'll have lavender, and you'll have cream. Now, if you go on to the Samsung website and order the online exclusives, you can get the lime, which I actually ordered because I think that's kind of cool. You have the sky blue, you have the graphite, and then you have the red. I almost ordered the red because the red looks kind of orangish to me. So I was kind of digging that. I thought about getting that because I do like orange, but I thought I would go with the lime this year and check that out. So now you're going to have similar colors for the other phones. You're going to have the lavender, you're going to have the cream, phantom black, and green. Now, as far as the online exclusives, you're only going to get the lime and the graphite. And it looks like you're going to get the same options over here for the S23 as well. So now let's see here. You can see that when you talk about stuff like these are some of the specs that people want to know about as far as like brightness, whether or not you're going to be able to see it outdoors or not. And it looks like the brightness is it's really not much improved. If I'm not mistaken, I think on the S23 Ultras, they were like 1700 nits. So if you're curious, when they're looking at like nits, it's like they're talking about how bright your screen is. So when you go outside, it's a bright sunny day. Some of those screens on the phones that were out back in the day, you just couldn't see them. Or some of the less expensive phones, the screens aren't that bright. And so when you're in bright daylight, you can't always see what's on your screen that well. And that can be really, really important if you're trying to read something, trying to get your directions or read the GPS, or maybe you're trying to take a picture or a video and you're trying to see what's going on. You want to make sure you have a screen that's actually readable in bright daylight. So those, having that 1750 nit screen is going to be nice. It's not as bright, if I'm not mistaken, or I'm not sure what the iPhone is. The iPhone, when it came out, said it was the brightest screen out there. I'm not sure how bright it is. I don't remember at this point, but I think it might be a little bit brighter than 1750, but I'm not really sure. All right, let's jump back in right quick. We can see there you're going to have HDR, 1200 nits, HBM, I'm not sure what that is at 1200 nits. And then you have this adaptive refresh rate, which I think is kind of cool. You're going to have anywhere on the S23 Ultra, you're going to have from 1 hertz all the way up to 120 hertz for regular stuff. So you're going to have a nice, smooth screen experience there. On the S23 and S23, on the S23 and S23 Plus, you're going to have 48 to 120 hertz. I'm not sure why they didn't bring this all the way down to 1 hertz, because this is going to affect battery life. They already have smaller batteries, and this not being able to go down to 1 hertz will affect battery life. So now this one right here, this, if I'm not mistaken, from the Unpacked event, this can go all the way up to 240 hertz if you're gaming. So I believe if you're gaming and you have it in gaming mode, you can go all the way up to 240 hertz, which is kind of cool. So there's some dimensions for you if you want to check that out. You can see the storage capacities again. So it looks like for the S23 Ultra. Now they do say on here, it says you can get 128, 256, and 512. Earlier it said you can only get 128 and 256. So they have some conflicting information on their site. On the Plus, it says 256 and 512. For the Ultra, you get 256, 512, and 1 terabyte. So if you're doing some serious, if you're creating some serious content, you might want to get that 1 terabyte. I usually do good with 512, so I'll leave it there. I did notice with my iPhone though, when I was actually with both with my iPhone and with my Z Fold 4, both of them are 512. And I did notice when I went to CES and I was shooting a lot of video, a lot of photos, and I was editing on my phone. That was something that I was doing this time that I didn't always do before. I was actually doing my edits on my phone. And so that saves not just the files, but then it saves all the edited files and all that stuff. So I found that I actually had to go in and offload a bunch of stuff because I filled up my storage. That was probably the first time that had happened to me in years, because normally I buy 512s or something, and that's more than enough for mobile photo and video. But I'll see how I do with the S23 Ultra. If it feels like I'm going to fill it up too quickly, then I might go ahead and upgrade to a 1 terabyte. But we'll see. All right. Let's see. Rick Torres says, is the display screen on the S23 bigger than the S22, referring to the Ultras? They are the same, if I'm not mistaken. They're a little bit different shaped because they rounded the edges a little, or they curved off there, not curved off. They squared off the edges of the S23 Ultra a little bit, but they're both 6.8-inch screens, and so you're basically gonna get the same. You're not gonna get a bigger screen. You're not gonna get a smaller screen. Yeah. And Evil Witch says the lime one looks good. Looks cool. I like the lime one too. So, all right. Let's see. I think that's pretty much it. Oh wait, we have the camera here, so we can see some of the. Maybe we'll get that answer I was looking for here. So we can see here with the S23 Ultra. It says our brightest low light portrait. You're gonna get epic night shots. Epic night shots. That's the thing I didn't like about this. About this Unpacked. This Unpacked, it seemed like Samsung went the Apple route. Like they seemed like they really did the whole Apple thing where they kind of found what I sort of look at as a gimmick. This whole low light videography thing. Now, don't get me wrong, it is important and you do want to have good low light video, but the amount of people out there that are going to be shooting like these motion picture, style films with these big crews in low light with an S23 Ultra, it's just really, it's so niche. Even the people that are going to be out there shooting a lot at night it's going to be a bit niche. Now, I get it indoors. Maybe you're shooting indoors and it's low light. You're in a club or a bar or a concert or something. You want to have that. And I think it's great. But they focused on it so much. And when someone focuses on something so much like that, it really just says they don't have much else to offer. And that's really what it was this time. They didn't really have a whole lot new to offer. Luckily for them, the S22 Ultra was so good and so far ahead of the competition in a lot of ways that they could do very incremental upgrades this year and be fine. It was kind of what Apple did with the iPhone 14 Pro and Pro Max. It was very, very incremental in the upgrades. And they focused on that dynamic island like it was a feature. The dynamic island is not a feature, it's a flaw. They just built some stuff around it because they can't figure out how to get rid of it yet. And so the moment they can figure out how to put an under display camera that's giving you great quality, they're going to do it. That dynamic island, don't be fooled. It's not a feature, it's a flaw that they're just engineering around. So, all right, let's see here. We're going to get a selfie camera, 12 megapixels, ultra wide, 12, and then wide angle. We're going to get 200, 50, and 50. And then we have a telephoto at 10, 10, and 10. And the optical zooms we're going to have at 3x, 10x, and 100x at digital zoom. For the S23 Plus, we're going to have 3x and 30x with the digital zoom. Same with the S23. They didn't say for the modes what they didn't give us any info on the different modes there. And then we can see the playback for 26 hours of video playback on the Ultra, 27 on the S23 Plus, and 22 on the S23. So they're getting pretty good playback there. Even more time on the Plus than you do on the Ultra, and the Plus has a smaller battery. So look at that. And then this processor, we already went through that here. If we can talk about durability, we have the Armor aluminum frame on all of them. We have Gorilla Glass Victus 2 on all of them. They're all water resistant to IP68, so you can pretty much go underwater with these things. It says based on test for submersion up to 1.5 meters of fresh water for up to 30 minutes, not advised for beach or pool use. And then you have Galaxy exclusives on there with the wallet and health. They all have 5G. The S Pen's only going to be on the Ultra, and yeah. Now let's talk about one thing here that is sort of has a bee in my bonnet about this. But before we do, let me go ahead and let me bring this up. We said Leon says S23 Ultra is looking good, but I got out of Samsung for 3 years now. I might be back to Samsung in the future if iPhone 15 Pro is not giving me what I want. Yeah, Rick Torres says, great job, Larry. Appreciate the work. Thank you very much, man. I appreciate you too. Now let's talk about one thing on here about this about the new Samsungs that are really working my nerves. And this is let me come over here, and this is going to be it right here. Let me see if I can get this in here. And if you come over here, we'll go to the pre-order. We'll click this. This is one thing that's really working my nerves over here, is that the trade-in values this year are absolutely atrocious. So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to click the unlock phone, the unlock version, because that's normally what I get. And you can see there, it says starting at $699. But that, first of all, that's just more expensive than they've done in the past. And that's what they are giving you. If you order right now, they are giving you the S23 Ultra with the 512 model for the same price as the 256. But you can see this price right there. It says $1379, $1379.99. So you're talking about $1,300 originally for that phone. Now it's showing on here the 1 terabyte is $11.99. So, but it's showing the 512 right there. Now this is the thing that really is getting me. Every year, Samsung usually gives really good trade-in values for their phones. And so this year, it's atrocious. Look at this. It says get up to $500 of instant trade-in credit. Normally, this number is at like 1,000 or 950 or something. Usually, it's so higher that only $500, that's like another Apple-y thing they did. And look at this. Look at this, what they do. If you even go to their Samsung devices, and now they say you can get up to $500 instant trade-in credit, which is unclear because they do have some devices up here that are showing that you can get more. But if you select a device here, let's say, look at this. Samsung S22 Ultra, only $500. In the past, for a phone like this, they would have given you like $800-900 of trade-in credit. I plan on trading in my Z Flip 4. They're only offering me $400. Now, I'm not particularly upset about this because I think out of pocket for my Flip 4, I think I only paid $459 or something. So I'm only losing $59 on there if I trade it in. But I am not particularly happy about that. I mean, the Z Fold 4, this phone right here is like $1,800 if you pay retail, and they're only offering $750. They're just really not offering much. Now, if we change and go over here to like Apple, you go here. This is the thing that gets me. The iPhone 14 Pro Max are offering you $720. That's more than Apple even offered for their flagship. When I went and traded in my 13 Pro Max, I think they only offered me like $600 for it or something. So, yeah. Now, this is the other thing that really got me. Originally my plan was, before I decided to trade in my Z Flip 4, my original plan was to trade in my Google Pixel 7 Pixel Pro, my Pixel 7 Pro, and it's not even up here to trade in. But if I was going to trade it in, look at these prices. That's crazy. The Pixel 6 Pro, they're only offering $160 for it. I mean, that's the thing. It definitely does not seem like Samsung is trying to get people to switch over right now. They seem like they're comfortable with their current fan base, or their current, whatever you want to call it, their current customer base. And they don't seem like they're trying to lure people over from the other brands, because they're not really offering you much money in trade for the other brands, or even their own brand. They don't even seem like they're all that interested in people upgrading from their other phones. And so I will tell you this, that, unless they change that and they offer significantly greater amounts for the trade-in value for their Z Fold 5, I will not be upgrading, because I'm not willing to take $1,000 hit on my phone to trade it in to get the new one. That's just too much. That is way, way too much. Now, when they start offering $1,000 trade-in, then it's a different calculus. So, and with the S22 Ultra, $1,200 I think that phone was for the original retail version. They're only offering $500. That's too much. That is too much of a hit. They should be offering, I think, at least like $800 for that phone. And so anyways, that's what it is. Let me just hop back in. Let me show you what the total price is going to be if you get a phone like this. So let's say that you don't have a trade. We'll drop it out, no trade. And they do offer right now, if you order now, they do have a $50 instant Samsung credit and enjoy another $100 instant Samsung credit. So you can go ahead, and I'll just say no coverage. We won't add anything extra on there. And you can see here, you're going to have a total, right now you're seeing it's $13.79. You'll get that instant credit of, it says instant Samsung credit, $180. And it says storage on us. And then you have the total right there for your pre-order. It's going to be $11.99.99. And that is for the 512. If you come up here, if you go to the 1 terabyte, which says it is $11.99.99, and you'll notice there that now you're talking about $16.99. So these are expensive phones. To get a 1 terabyte phone, that's really expensive. I'm really curious though, to see what the difference is between this and the iPhone. Let's head over to Apple right quick. And now, mind you, the iPhone has been out for a little while now, but let's just see. Apple doesn't really drop their prices much over time. So let's see what it's going to cost here if we were to go buy an iPhone. So if you were to get an iPhone 14 Pro Max, this is basically the equivalent to their S22 Ultra. It's their flagship. We'll just pick whatever, purple there. And now it looks like the 1 terabyte is going to be about the same price. We have the 512 at $13.99 and the 1 terabyte at $15.99. And so if we scroll down here, let's see if we let's see if we can get to the, hold on a second. Let me see if I can get to the total on here. For some reason, it's not showing up. Let me see if I can get to the total and find out how much this thing is going to actually cost. And I picked my terabytes. I don't want, oh, no trade-in. Maybe that's what it is. I hadn't picked the trade-in on there. So, all right. And let's go, hold on a second. And let me bring you guys back in here. And so, let's see. So we have $15.99 if we get no coverage, 1 terabyte version. We'll click add to bag, and we'll see. We don't want any of the extras. Let's just go ahead and review the bag. And let's see here. It looks like it would be $1683.75, and so you're looking about the same price for the you're looking at about the same price for the iPhone. But let's do this. Let's go and see if let's see if we trade. Let's see what kind of trade-in values Apple's offering. So let's go with the trade-in here. We'll select our model, and they're gonna have all the iPhones like this. Oops, hold on, I don't want to do that. Look at that. They're only offering $570 for the 13 Pro Max. They should offer more than that. All right, so here's some Samsung phones. The S23, S22 Ultra, whoo, they're only offering $305. Man, Apple's not really giving much for these phones either. That is something else right there. That is too little. So anyways, there we have it. You can see these companies are getting real cheap, I think, when it comes to their trade-in values, which I think for a lot of people is going to prevent folks from buying new phones. When you offer better trade-in values for the previous phones, especially flagship phones, you end up with people who are willing to update. That's one thing that has kept me in the Samsung ecosystem, is that not ecosystem, because I don't really have other Samsung devices, but other than their phones, but well, I do have one of their tablets, but I don't have a computer or anything. But one thing that has kept me coming back and buying new Samsung phones is not just the quality of the phones, but also the fact that I can get really good trade-in values. And if I can't do that, now I have to think about not necessarily if I don't want a Samsung phone, but if I want to upgrade it every year like I've been doing, and do I want to wait? Now I will tell you this. Usually, Samsung offers really great deals right at launch, like right when it comes to pre-order and reserving everything, they offer really great deals. And then if you wait, usually about a month or two, then once all the hype dies down, they deliver the phones, the initial orders. These phones will be available on February 17th. But usually if you wait like a month or two later, then you start to get some really good deals again, some really aggressive deals as time goes on after that. So if you're not in a big hurry, if you don't have to be the first one on the block to have the new phone, then if you can wait a few months, I think you'll probably get a better deal. So yeah, let's see here. Pedro's in the building. He says, "Hey Larry, sorry I'm late. I'm late to the party. No problem, man. Glad to have you in." So yeah, I have to say that I'm a bit disappointed. I'm a bit disappointed on the pricing with the new phones. I just think they're very, very expensive. Now, I will say this. If you do have, if you're a student or you're a veteran or something, there are some other options for you. Let me see if I click this again, if it'll bring up. I'll hit pre-order. And let me see. Now, you'll notice here, you'll see it says they have education offers for, hold on, let me click that again. They have education offers for students, teachers, and parents. So if you are even if you're a parent of a student, you have that. Or if you're a teacher, you have offers for government employees. So if you work for the U.S. government, you can get a discount. And you have military offers as well. So if you're active duty, a veteran, or military families, you have that option as well. First responders like fire, police, nurses, and medical practitioners have a discount, and employee offers. So employees of partnering companies will be able to do that. Now I'm not sure which companies they have. Let's just click that and see. Let's see if they have anything. It just disappeared there, so I'm not really sure. Let's see. Here we go. Let's see. Company stores. Log in to see your special pricing. I'm not sure which companies they have there. So let's see, special offers, and yeah, government employee. Let's see, employee offers. Let's see, start shopping. Let's see what companies they offer, if they have any, if they list the companies here. And I don't see a list of the companies, so I'll have to come back. I'll have to see if I can find those and bring that to you guys later. So, but yeah. So anyways, that's it. That's, they did show some other stuff during the Unpacked. They did have the Galaxy books there so that you can check them out. I've never used one, so I can't really speak on if they're good or bad, or if I would like them or don't like them. They look a lot like the MacBook Pros. They look, they have that sort of aluminum unibody style. with the you know, that big trackpad there. The keyboard looks almost exactly like it. I mean, in a lot of ways, it looks like a straight up iPad in some ways. I'll tell you some ways, you know, yeah, I mean, it just does. So anyways, it looks good. I mean, I have a MacBook Pro and it looks good, so I'm not disappointed in the styling of it at all. But I am disappointed in these prices. These prices are pretty brutal, and I think they're going to lock up a lot of people out of getting them. Now, if you are someone who is, you know, if you're with T-Mobile or, you know, with Verizon or something, and you're due for an upgrade, or if you're with you know, AT&T or something, and you're due for an upgrade, that might work out well for you. But if you buy your phones just straight up unlocked, you're gonna pay out of pocket a little bit. So yeah. All right. Well, that's about it. If anybody has any questions, I will stick around for a few minutes and answer any questions that I can. I have had Samsung phones now for a while. I think my first Samsung phone might have been like the S5 back in the day, and then I left Android and I went to back to the iPhone, and then I came back, and I think the first time back was like I think it was the S8 or Note 8, one of the two. It might have been the S8. I don't remember. But when they came out with the Note 9, I traded in my S8, and I bought the S8 off a dude on Craigslist for like some ridiculously low price. I don't know where he got it from. The dude looked kind of sketch when I got it, so I was a little suspect, but I was like, this is a great deal. Let me grab it. It turned out that he sold me an international version. It was a world version, and it didn't have the correct bands needed here to get 4G LTE. That's what we were rolling with at the time. And so I traded it in when the Note 9s came out, which was only probably a month or so later. I traded it in, got the Note 9, and that was the thing that really shocked me, was how much trade value they gave me for the Note 9. I couldn't believe it. I walked out of the store, and I think I only paid like $200 or something for the phone. I was astonished. And then when I traded in my Note 9 for the Note 10, and I got the same sort of great deal. And then I went from the Note 10 to the Note 20 Ultra, and that was great too. And then they went from the Note 20 Ultra to the I think I traded the Note 20 Ultra for my Z Fold 3, and then I traded in my Z Fold 3 for the Z Fold 4, and I had the S22 at some point, but I traded in my S22 for the Google Pixel 7 Pro, which I regret. I mean, that's just what it is. I like the phone. Is cool in some ways. It definitely has an appeal, but yeah, I regret. I wish I still had my S22 Ultra. And in fact, I have to say, if I had my S22 Ultra and I hadn't traded it in for the Google Pixel 7 Pro, I'm not sure I'd be upgrading right now. I'm not sure. Like, the moment I traded this phone in, I regretted it when I did it. I shouldn't have done it, but my thought was, I'll trade this in. I'll trade in the S22 Ultra for the Pixel 7 Pro, because they were offering, I think they offered me like $950 for my phone, I think it was, and this was like $899 base. I upgraded it, which brought it up to like, I think it brought it up to, I don't know, $1,000 or something like that. And then after tax and everything, I think I paid, I don't know, $100 or something like that after taxes. So, but they offered me like $950 for the phone, which basically covered the cost of the phone. That was what they offered, the trade-in for the S22 Ultra. Now, I really thought that they were going to offer much more. I thought they would say, I thought when I would trade this in, that you would be able to trade it in for the Pixel 7. I thought you'd be able to trade your Pixel 7 Pro in for a decent amount. I wasn't expecting it would be $950, but I was thinking, oh, maybe they'll offer me like $700 or something for it, and I'll trade it in. But they didn't, and so now I'm kind of stuck with the Pixel 7 Pro, which I don't mind because I can do some nice comparison videos with it. I'm kind of looking forward to getting rid of my Z Flip 4. I should, they're only offering me $400 a trade-in. I thought about looking up online to see if I can actually sell this on like Gazelle or one of the other cell phone sites for a little bit more, and maybe if I can, I'll sell it to them and then make a little bit more money. But I had this phone and I like the form factor. I like that it folds up, but when it's folded in half, it is a little bit bulky in your pocket, but it doesn't take up a whole lot of space because it's in half. The problem is I am not a fan of this camera system at all. If Samsung was to improve the camera system, I think this might be a daily driver for me. If I could get the S23 Ultra's camera system on this phone, this would probably be a daily driver. This has been my daily driver, the Z Fold 4, which has a much better improved camera, but it doesn't have a long zoom. It only has like a 3x zoom. And I you know, before I was always thinking like, I don't need a long zoom. I'd rather have an ultra wide. But I have found that I actually want my zoom. There are plenty of times when I'm out there and I want to be able to reach out and see something that's far. Sometimes I want to do it to take a photo or a video. Sometimes I just want to see something. Like my wife and I were out at, we were out over near a waterfront. And there was something in the water. We were like, what is that? We couldn't tell what it was. And so I just took out, this is when I had my S22 Ultra, I took out my S22 Ultra and I hit that 10x zoom and boom, it brought it right in close. I can see exactly what it was. So yeah. Anyways, I'm out, you guys. Let's see, Pedro asked, are you going to pre-order or wait for later? I actually already pre-ordered. So I pre-ordered the S23 Ultra with, I ordered the S23 Ultra in the lime green. I got the 512 capacity in the lime green, and I made sure to get the 512 partly because I wanted the extra storage, but also because the 512 version has 12 gigs of RAM instead of 8 gigs of RAM. So, yeah. All right. Well, let me dip on out unless you guys have any other questions. Let's see. Pedro says, "Me too. I like it. I like it. Good job. I like it. Good taste." Good taste in phones. Oh, he says, I got it in gray. Yeah, the gray one is nice too. You know, I didn't get the gray one because I have had like the gray one before I've had like gray phones with the iPhone. My current iPhone is purple, so I didn't get the purple one. I thought about getting that. My Pixel, now this is the only reason why I almost didn't get the green, because my Pixel is actually green. If I can get this case off here, let me see if I can get it off. I don't know if you can tell, but my Pixel is actually green, but it's sort of a different color green. It's not the lime green that other one is. And I like that lime green. I really like having, you know, these, you know, kind of bright colors. They're fun. The problem is you get the bright colors for your phone and then you cover them up with a case. But I had thought I might go caseless this year. I might do it. I haven't decided. I'm thinking about it. And one of the reasons why I actually put a case on my phones is because a lot of these phones are really slippery. And I don't want to walk around somewhere and just have my phone slip out of my hand because it's slippery. So I oftentimes will get like silicone cases. Sometimes I'll get a leather case. Like this one here is a leather case by, this is a mouse case, and this thing is dope. By the way, mouse, I owe you an apology because when I made a video about this, I was like, oh, I like this phone, but one thing I hate is that the bottom part here where the ports are too thick because I can't fit in my wireless mic system. That was before I got the DJI wireless mic system, and now I can fit my wireless mic receiver pretty much on any case, including this mouse case. So I think it was just the Ceramonics that before and some of the other brands I had tried before that didn't work well. So yeah. Let's see. Spark Vegas says it makes sense to switch over from my Note 9. Absolutely. If you have a Note 9, switch over to the S23 Ultra. You will be absolutely astonished how much they've advanced on those phones, and you'll be more than happy with it. You will be. I had the Note 9 and the Note 10 and the Note 20 Ultra, and I have to say that when I left from the Note 20 Ultra and I had the S22 Ultra, and now mind you, I was not someone who bought the S series in the past. I didn't buy, like I had an S5, and then that was kind of it. And I think I bought like some bootleg world phone that was like an S8, which I didn't use it, but for like I didn't really use it at all. I got it and I had it for like a month, but I didn't really use it because I couldn't get the LTE band. So I kind of got it. I bought it off a dude on Craigslist. I bought it and just kind of sat there until I traded it for the Note 9. And then I got one from the Note 9 to the Note 10, the Note 10 to the Note 20 Ultra, and then then to the S22 Ultra. And the S22 Ultra just blew my mind. I was like, this is a phone. I love that phone. And I regret still to this day that I traded that phone in. I wish I would, like, even if I would have got this Pixel 7 Pro, I wish I just would have paid outright for it and kept the Note 20 Ultra. But I didn't. But I knew that an S23 Ultra was coming out soon, and so I was like, I'm just gonna get that. But yes, Spark Vegas, during the Unpacked event, they basically said, they came out and said they're no longer making the Note line, that the S20, the S series, S20, the S series Ultra, the Ultra series of the S line will be the new Notes. And they did something where they actually showed the Note and they just erased it off the screen and they put in the you know, Ultra on there. So yeah. All right, let's see if anybody else has any questions. Again, if you guys, let me show you these phones again. Let me just bring you in right quick so you can take one last look at them before I dip up out of here. So this is, you know, this is kind of what it looks like here. You can see they have some different colors in there. Some colors are going to be exclusive to the Samsung online. Here are some of the exclusive colors right there. We have this sky blue, the lime green, this red, and that grayish color right there. And you can see there, they're really pushing the low light capability of this phone this year, especially low light video. And you can see there that the S23 Ultras are going to have the integrated S Pen, which I absolutely miss. I miss this a lot. And I'll tell you one reason why I miss the S23 Ultra is I shoot a lot with my cell phone. I use my phone a lot. And you can actually, you know, when you're using something like the Z Fold 4, you can see yourself on this screen, which is very great and helpful. But the S Pen on the Z Fold series, it doesn't have like an active pin. It has an S Pen, but it's not active. And so there's a button on there, but the button really doesn't do anything. Whereas with the S22 Ultra, well, I guess all the way back down to most of the Note series and up to like the S22 and now the S23, that S Pen, you can use it as a remote trigger when you're doing some photography. Now it's fantastic because if I'm on a tripod and I'm shooting something and I want to shoot, like for instance, I was doing some long exposure stuff recently, and I had to set my self timer, and then I would take a picture, and then I would hit it, and I would hit the shutter, the self timer would go, and then it would take the photo. With the S Pen, I can take the S Pen out of the phone and I can use that as a remote trigger, so I don't have to worry about using that self timer. I just hit the button, boom, it takes a photo, and I'm good. Also, if I'm filming myself and I'm at a distance, I can have my camera set up, boom, use the S Pen to trigger the shutter, start filming, or take the picture. I don't have to worry about a self timer. I don't have to worry about trying to hold my hand up to trigger that feature. I just, it's nice to have. So let's see here. Pedro says, I like the Ultra internal memory. Now it's 256, and with the pre-order, you get the upgrade to 512. That is true. You do get that pre-order if you pre-order it. And let me see if I can bring it in here. I'll show you guys again. If you pre-order, right here, you can see you get free storage upgrades. So if you're looking at buying this phone, go ahead and get it now. I mean, I think it's worth it in some respects. You'll get that free upgrade. Now, there are times where they do offer the phones, maybe some better trade-in deals or different deals months later, and that may be where you go if you're not ready to upgrade now. But it's nice they do give you this 512, and that's fantastic. So I kind of wish they would offer you the 1 terabyte at the 512 price too, so that you had a chance, if you wanted the 1 terabyte, to get it at a little bit cheaper cost. So, but this is what I got right there. I have the Lime. I ordered the Lime version there. So for those of you that are curious about which one I got, I have the lime version that I offered. Now apparently they're not. The pin is going to be black. They're not offering you the S Pen in a different color, so it looks like you're just going to have the phone in a different color. So yeah. All right. Well, everyone, I guess I will dip up out of here. It has been fun. Thank you so much for coming through. Thank you for watching. You know what? Let's do this because I actually didn't. Before we dip out of here, let's check the prices of the other phones. I didn't even check the S23 and S23 Plus prices because I never even considered buying those phones. I only want the Ultra, and so let's see what you can get with these. So it looks like with the S23 and S23 Plus, if you have the right trade-in or you have the right carrier, you can get it for $0. So it looks like Samsung, it looks like Verizon and T-Mobile will offer those phones at $0 cost if you have the right trade-in and or you have the right plan, like one of these Magenta Max plans or something. It looks like almost all of them do, and you can get it unlocked starting at $427 with the right trade-in. So it looks like they're also going to give you the storage upgrade there. We'll leave it on. We'll change that to lavender right quick. Let's see what they offer for trade-in. So it looks like you can get up to $350, and we'll say mobile phone, good condition. We'll select the brand. We'll see what Samsung has. And look at this. See, this is something that Samsung does that I think is a little bit janky. They offer different trade-in values for different phones. Now, you may notice here on the Z Fold 4, this thing is where they'll give you a trade-in value of $750, whereas with the S22 Ultra or S23 Ultra, excuse me, they were offering $750. Now here with the S22 Ultra, they're here only offering $400 here, but they're offering $500 if you buy the S23 Ultra. And this is the phone I'm trading in, the Z Flip 4. Here, they're offering $350. They gave me actually $400 for trade-in on the S23 Ultra. So I don't like that. I don't like that's what they're doing, but that's what they are doing. And it's $350 on here for like the S22 Plus. So we'll click that there. We'll just see what it comes down to. What it looks like. We'll hit agree. And it looks like they're going to give you a $50 credit on those two right there. And you can have your coverage. I'll just say no coverage. And we'll see what it looks like here. So it looks like if you trade in that S22 Ultra, it looks like you're going to end up paying out of pocket $427.49. Now let's go ahead and take the trade off. And where'd that go? Let's go ahead and hit that. We'll hit no trade. And it looks like with no trade, you're going to end up paying $759.99. So that is that's for the S23. If you go with the Plus version, you're going to end up paying a little bit more. So if you go with the Plus, you're still going to go, you can see it's going to be $617 for the unlocked version. You still get the free upgrade, the free storage, and then there you go. We can see we're going to have no trade. You'll still get those credits there, and that's going to bring you to a total of $949.99. So these are not cheap phones, not at all. They are not cheap phones at all. And again, if you come over to the Ultra, and we'll go through this one last time here, and you'll see there they do have some different things where you can get different credits there. And oh, look at that! Now it's showing at 189. It was showing 199 a moment ago. All right, let's just go here. We'll click 664 on there. Then it shows for unlocked. We can see there it's going to be $512. You can get the free because you get the free upgrade for storage. Look at that. The prices show they're dropping a bit, showing at $1063. Huh. All right, we'll click that. We'll click the lime one. And we'll say that my trade-in is, we'll say no trade-in. We'll just leave it there. We'll get those credits. And we'll come down here. It looks like the total will be... Wow, look at that. The S23 Ultra. It looks like the total today is saying $664. Can that be right? Is that right? Did I do something wrong? Wait, so that looks like it's cheaper than what I offered. So wait, than what I was paying. So it's 512. We'll get the 512. We get the lime. And we'll have, oh wait, I have to, we'll put no trade in. That's what it was. I had the trade in wrong. I had it on trade in. So we'll have no trade in. And now we took the trade in off. So there we go. So I had the trade in on there. So now it's going to be 1139. And if you decide to go with the trade in, then you just have to pick your phone. So if I pick my phone and I go with the brand, Samsung device, Z Flip 4 is going to be $400. And I, yes, agree on that. Now, we can see I still get those credits there. And I'll say no coverage right there. And now you can see, you can see it's going to be $759.99. So it may be a little bit more after taxes once you add whatever you have in there for taxes. But yeah. I mean, it's not horrible. It's not horrible when you look at the original price of $13.79, then you're paying $7.50. I mean, you're still saving like half the price, just about half the price. As you can see, it says you save $6.20. So it's not a bad deal. It's just not as good as the deals they've had in the past. So let's see. It says, will you be doing, Pedro says, will you be doing reviews on the S23 cases? I will. I actually have some cases in from Subcase and from iBlazin that I will be making some reviews of once actually I'm not even going to wait for the phone because they sent me some dummy models. So I actually will make those reviews and start posting them. I should have had them done today so I could have posted them today, but I'll start posting them. I'm going to shoot them as soon as we finish up here, and then I'll start posting those probably tomorrow. So yeah. Let's see here. I guess no more questions. We're good. So, all right, y'all. I guess I'm up out of here. Well, it has been real. Thank you for coming through. Thank you for hanging out for a while. Hopefully, I will get these phones in. I'll get the phone in soon. It should be available on February 17th, and I am actually excited. This is one of the few times I've been actually excited for an Unpacked event or one of these sort of events. I have for the last like couple of years, I haven't really been all that excited about them. They've seemed sort of just mediocre. Not the Unpacked events, but just some of these big events like the Apple events and stuff. They haven't been what they used to be back in the day. They weren't the old one more thing type of deal. But I was excited for this one. I was a little disappointed, not because they didn't deliver a good phone in the S23 Ultra, but because some of the stuff I was looking to hear from them, I didn't hear, which I have to assume means they didn't upgrade the features I was looking for, like the 4K portrait video and the wireless charging speed and all that stuff. So, but I still expect it to be a great phone. I still ordered it. It's still going to be my everyday carry phone when I get it, and I am looking forward to it. So I'll have my Z Flip, which will be my, just around the house phone. I'll use this as sort of like basically like a mini tablet, and then I'll have the S23 Ultra that I'll just take with me everywhere. So yeah. All right, y'all. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments, and I'll see if I can answer them later. And I hope you enjoyed checking out this video. And if you did, please give it a big thumbs up. And I'm Larry with Today I Feel Like. And until next time, love, peace, and hair grease. Peace.